So Logan, how do you summarize this season?
I think as a whole, there were ups and downs. I thought we played good hockey for long stretches. That the losing streak that we hit near the end, a lot of one-goal losses. It just seemed like in games we were really close. We just couldn't get that next goal that won us a game. Whether it was in regulation or in overtime. But I thought we competed for majority of the season really hard. I felt like we played good against good teams, against the better teams. We played some really good games. But at the end of the day, it's unfortunate that it ends today.
Logan, what has to change next year, do you think?
Oh, win more games. It's the simple answer. Going back to the start of the year, I liked our training camp. I thought we showed up and worked and learned new systems and are changing our systems and had a great start to the season, which would really like to repeat next year. I think just finding ways to win games, finding that next goal. It just seemed like we had trouble scoring for large parts of the season, coming up with clutch goals. So, this is a big summer for a lot of guys, veterans, rookies. We get lots of time here to train and get prepared and rest. And it's been 3 years where we haven't gotten into where we want to go. So, it's time to come back next summer and be better.
Consistently this season, you've talked about, everybody's talked about how the room is tight, everybody's playing for each other, that sort of thing. So, is it fair to say that that's one thing that doesn't need to change? That the room, basically, the attitude, the chemistry, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think 100% guys enjoyed coming to the rink and playing with each other. It's tough when a season ends and guys are tight. Because there's changes in this league and you're never going to be with the same team twice, whether it's a smaller or a big change. So that's unfortunate, but reality of this business. The room was very good this year.
So Logan, as a captain, how much of an impact do you think you can have in the locker room and the whole attitude towards winning?
I think myself and some older guys were looked up to in this locker room. We had a lot of young guys at the end of the season there. I don't know how many rookies it was, but it felt like it was close to double digits by the end. And it's not just vocally; it's body language, the way that we carry ourselves, the way that we show up to work every day, practice habits. I think for them, they're always watching. Someone's always watching. Someone's always got their eyes on you. So if you're a captain or a leader in this team, it may be easy to go through the motions some days when you're out of it, but there's always some young guy that's looking up to you and watching you and seeing how hard you practice and what time you get to the rink and all that. So for us, I think we did a very good job as leaders of showing them how to be pros in this league and just working extremely hard.
What do you typically emphasize the most in the locker room for the players?
Hard work. It's the biggest thing that I was taught in this league. Very fortunate when I came in to watch Joe Thornton, Patty Marleau, Pavelski, Ryan Clough, Boyle. The biggest thing with them was their work ethic. Showed up every day wanting to get better, wanting to improve in the weight room. First guys on the ice, normally last guys off. So it's one thing that was instilled in me as a young player, and I hope that our young guys see that in us, and they want to emulate that as well.
Joe Wells said that this team wants to win now, and he's got their foot on the gas. And does that give you confidence that the steps will be taken in the offseason to sort of add the depth to this team, add some scoring in particular, I guess? Yeah,
you hope so. I mean, it's nothing that us as players can really control. It's up to management, and this organization's in a transition right now with a GM search. So there's really not much to say about that until they figure out who the new GM is.
How weird is that, not going through that? It's the first time in almost 20 years this team's going to have a new GM.
Yeah, this was, a very weird season. It felt like almost 3 seasons in one. We had so much going on. Everyone around the league was dealing with COVID and the shutdowns, and we had our GM Doug stepped away, and there was almost some uncertainty there with what was going on. So there's just a lot that happened. I thought we dealt with it extremely well. We showed up and worked very hard. Our coaching staff kept us prepared on a day-to-day basis. So, there's a lot going on, but as a team, we stuck with it and, kind of ignored the outside stuff.
You guys are right around the playoff spot, 8th or 9th in the conference, mid-January, and then Eric gets hurt and, a couple other things happen. Do you point at that and say that's kind of where things went off the rails for you guys, or can you pinpoint one area where, what time?
I don't know. I don't know if that's the reason. I think that Florida trip, we played some really good hockey. Probably could have gotten 2 or 3 more points out of that trip. And then that break, I think, just halted our momentum for whatever reason. We had 12 days off and between games, and we lost some games coming out of that break. I think that's probably the time where things changed. I'd have to go back and look at those games, what happened in those games, but it felt like that was probably the point.
Is the feeling today similar to this day the past couple of years, or different in any way?
Well, it's similar that the season's done, and we don't get to play in the playoffs, the best time to play hockey. It sucks. I mean, I hate watching hockey when other teams get to play and you don't, but I don't know if it's similar or different. I mean, it still sucks regardless of how the season goes. The season ends, there's one team that's going to be happy at the end, and it just sucks when you don't get a chance to be one of those 16.
You spoke when the team got eliminated from the playoffs, just how frustrated, or just that you're getting older, and it's another year out of playoffs, and I have to ask you, do you have you entertained any thoughts about going somewhere else to try to win, or your heart is here, your mind is here?
I signed a contract here for a long time. I was drafted here. I love this place. I love the fans here. I love living here. Very fortunate and very grateful that I get to play for this organization. I've said this many times, the fan base here is incredible to myself, my family. I can't see myself playing anywhere else.
There's one place you might go, Helsinki?
Helsinki?
Yeah.
For what?
Worlds. Is that something you've talked about or thought about?
No, right now I'm just too banged up, and it's been a lot of hockey in the last little while, so I'm going to take some time here and rest. I think just physically, mentally, I need a break here, so get back at it training, though, pretty soon.
I know it's tough not to obviously be in this position again, but are you in a better spot now than at the end of last season? Like in the last season, that really kind of wore on you.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's really not even close. I was banged up last year, physically, mentally, really drained, and this year, body sore, but definitely in a much better spot. I was happy with the way that our team battled down the stretch. I think just proud of the guys in there, with guys coming up and down, and everyone every night I think gave it their all that was playing. That's all you can really ask for. We played some very good teams. We played them extremely close and hard, and just proud of the way that the guys battled.
Would you like to throw him last year? Would you like to see Bob back here?
I like the coaching staff a lot. I think the guys played extremely hard for them, and we in that room we really respect those guys. Special teams were good, and I like the way that we were playing. So I think he and the rest of the staff should be back. It's ultimately not our decision.